The eternal dilemma of feminism. What do brilliant minds think about? A debate that goes straight into the heart of feminism. Beauvoir once mentioned in her critique of Engels that Engels, through the lens of historical materialism, argued that women belong to a double proletarian class. In the factory, she is a worker with no capital. In the household, she is a wife and mother with no power. Her muscles, her blood, used to serve the profits of the capitalist today, and at the same time, her ability to give birth ensures the future interests of that same capitalist. So where did this injustice come from? It was the evolution of production itself. The base of the economy built the structure of society. It all began with bronze, and then iron, tools that gave men greater productive power, letting them conquer more land and accumulate more resources and wealth. Compared to men, women were pushed into the role of the proletariat, which means this is not about gender, it is about class. To free women, we must fight. We must abolish private ownership. As members of the working class, women must stand united with all workers and strike against the ruling elite when all means of production belong to the people. Then man or woman, no one shall be exploited again. That is why, when women shouted, "We hold up half the sky," it was during the most powerful days of socialism. That was Engels' solution to the suffering of women. But 65 years later, a fierce rebuttal arrived. It came from Simone de Beauvoir, the founder of modern feminism. Her book, *The Second Sex*, was hailed as a global feminist Bible. Even the Vatican banned it, claiming her view of God was an insult to mankind. The core message of *The Second Sex*, that men are seen as the standard, the subject, and women, they are seen only as the other. This idea runs deep, planted in culture and belief, even in the story of creation. This bias was written from the very beginning. The Bible says, "On the seventh day, God shaped Adam from clay, and while Adam was asleep, he took a rib and created Eve." So Adam was made directly by God, but Eve was made by Adam. This reveals the bias already built into the Bible. Man is simply a man. A woman, she's just a version of man. Beauvoir criticized Engels. She argued that women's oppression by men was not just about productivity. It was also about a conscious hostility and exclusion, because men never want to give up their advantage. They need women to be inferior, to feel superior. Beauvoir did admit the invention of bronze and iron did help men increase their productivity. It severely disrupted any balance of labor. But her real question struck deeper. Why do men always keep the benefits of progress to themselves? Why are tools and knowledge kept within brotherhoods, but not shared with women? To Beauvoir, the answer is clear. To men, women are still the second sex, an accessory. No matter how advanced technology becomes, men will consciously monopolize the advantages, generation after generation, keeping women trapped in repetitive internal roles. At every stage of industrial development, women remain one level below men. And so we see, in understanding a woman's struggle, Engels was a materialist. Beauvoir was an idealist. To Engels, patriarchy was a passive result of productivity. To Beauvoir, patriarchy was deliberately constructed by men. It was conscious and systemic. Her most famous line said it all. One is not born, but rather becomes a woman. A woman is not born into being. She is shaped into it by culture, by structure, by society. Existence comes before essence. A woman's existence was never defined by some fixed essence, like being born to bear children, do housework, or sew quietly. This feminine essence is a lie, crafted deliberately by men who wanted to keep women in a dependent role. Men shaped women after the fact, not before. That's why women must resist confinement. They must break free from domestic repetition and passivity. They must step into the economy, into politics, into public life. They must venture into the wide world, no longer parasites feeding off men. Only through transcendence can a woman reclaim her own sense of self. Beauvoir lived what she preached. In her relationships, in her career, in her ideas, she practiced her own feminism in full. But in my view, Beauvoir's path led to a new contradiction. It demands that women must now walk a harder, more exhausting road to be considered feminist. More labor, more fight to earn that label. And if a woman chooses to build and love her family, to center her life around it. Then suddenly, she's seen as trapped in domestic repetition, and if men are actively oppressing, women must resist their temptations and bribery. As Dai Jinhua once said, true equality requires giving up gender privilege. And Chizuko Ueno once argued, bride price culture is more about materialism and money worship than about true feminism. Some people may say, being an independent woman is not just about money. And Beauvoir would agree, because a truly independent woman is more than just self-sufficient. She must go beyond that. She must enter the competition, because men are lucky in one simple way. They are treated as men, whether they are boys or adults. Men are encouraged to walk a path that is hard and unforgiving, but it is also the most dependable road forward. A woman's tragedy, however, is that she's surrounded by temptations too strong to resist. She is not expected to rise, to strive, and by the time she realizes the illusion has fooled her, it is often too late, because her strength has already been drained in a failed adventure, used up. And finally, let me add, after my last video, I received many personal messages and comments. Many quoted Chizuko Ueno, who said, feminism does not fear debate, because feminism is diverse, ever-changing. It embraces broad definitions, even to the point of one person, one theory. But that is exactly what raises my biggest personal question. Because throughout human history, we've created countless ideologies, countless isms, capitalism, socialism, democracy, cynicism, egalitarianism. And whenever we talk about any of them, we begin with one thing, a clear, shared definition. Only then can discussion even begin. Because once any idea turns into action, there will be gains and losses. Capitalism believes in free markets but loses equality. Egalitarian systems gain fairness, but sacrifice efficiency and growth. And just like Chizuko Ueno said, feminism allows broad definitions. It can be one person, one view. It's a concept that anyone can self-declare. If someone says, I am a feminist, then they are one. And so people take what they need, get what they want, but perhaps lose what mattered most. And no one notices it disappearing. So what exactly is a feel-good feminism, where everyone just gets along? To me, not all feminisms are equal, and that's why I chose to follow Engels and Beauvoir. Because they did not just tell me what they believed in, they also told me what they were willing to lose for the sake of that belief.